Hey guys, Dobby back at you. Another story about construction work. The site was supposed to be empty after 7 p.m. Everyone clocked out, tools locked in the gang box, generators killed, but the night watchman, old guy named Ruiz, kept telling the crew the same thing every morning. Something's still moving up on 14 when the building's dark. We laughed it off. Ruiz drank. We all knew the story about the guy who fell during the steel erection phase 3 years earlier. They never found all of him, just enough to identify with dental records and one boot still laced. The rest supposedly pancaked between floors and got poured over when they placed the next deck. Concrete's forgiving that way. You can bury mistakes forever if you're fast enough. I pulled the graveyard shift once because the night guy called in sick. Double pay. Easy money, walk the floors, check padlocks, make sure no copper thieves had cut the fence again. Building was a skeleton at that point. 14 stories of poured decks, elevator shafts open to the sky, rebar stubs like iron fingers everywhere. Around 2:17 a.m., the lights on the temp stringers started popping one by one, not flickering, pop, 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 like someone was walking the line and snapping the bulbs with their fingers. I figured a short, grabbed the mag light and headed up. The stair tower smelled wrong. Not just concrete dust and curing slurry. Something warmer, coppery, like a nosebleed in a closed room. Floor 13 was quiet. Floor 14, I heard it before I saw anything. A soft metallic scrape, slow, deliberate, like someone dragging a 5-gallon bucket across the deck. But the deck was empty except for a few stacked scaffold planks and a single yellow safety cable still clipped to nothing. Then the radio on my belt crackled, even though it was turned off. A voice came through, not Ruiz, not anyone I knew. It sounded like someone trying to talk with their mouth full of gravel. Still missing pieces. I froze. The scraping stopped. Then from the far end of the floor, where the elevator core opens into a black rectangle, something moved. It wasn't tall, it was wide, too wide, shoulders that didn't taper right, like someone had poured a man into a bigger mold and let the edges slump. It wore what might have been an orange vest once, but mostly fused to the skin that looked like it had been dipped in wet concrete and left to set round. One arm ended in a stump wrapped with caution tape. The other hand held something, a piece of rebar bent into a crude hook. It didn't walk, it slid, feet dragging, leaving wet streaks that glistened under my flashlight. I backed up, hit the stairwell door, locked. Of course it was locked from the inside, because someone had dogged it earlier that day to keep the wind from banging it. The thing kept coming closer. I could see now. Parts of his face were still recognizable. One eye socket empty, the other filled with something gray and moving, like wet cement still curing behind the lid. It raised a rebar hook, and very quietly, almost politely, it said, "You're wearing my boot." I looked down. I was. Not my boot, not the pair I'd laced that morning. One of them had been swapped sometime during the day, same size, same laces, but the leather was older, cracked, and when I lifted my foot, the sole left a dark print on the decking. The thing tilted its head. Concrete dust sifted from the cracks in its neck. Give it back, it whispered. I've been walking funny without it. I don't remember unlocking the door. Don't remember running down 14 flights. I just remembered hitting the ground level, still hearing that slow scrape echoing behind me, floor by floor, getting closer. I quit the next morning. Told them my mom was sick. They didn't ask questions. But sometimes when I'm in a tall building, when the elevator stops on a floor that's still under construction, when the door is open onto nothing but plastic sheeting and bare bulbs, I feel it. A faint tug on my left ankle, like something patient is still trying to walk level again. And it knows exactly which boot it needs to finish the job. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope you get something out of it, even if it wasn't annoyed or a good night's sleep. Remember to like, subscribe, share, thumbs up, thumbs down. See you in the next one. Bye.